tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the Daily Trudge. I'm having a lot of fun with this light. I really am. I just saw your message, Michelle. I'll try and answer it the best I can for you. I'll reply after this. Try and answer that. What I do here, I'll just kind of show what I do. Right. So I usually have the script up, right? Even though I'm on Zoom, but you don't have to worry about the security and having to really see people. So you can switch back and forth between Zoom and the script. That should make it easier for you. You don't have to worry about it being half or anything like that. A lot of other meetings, you're also the host and you have to look for people coming in and do security and posting and pasting. I've set up the meeting so you don't have to do any of that. So maybe we should consider printing those off and mailing those also. But hopefully that will help you out a little bit. I'll help you out a little bit, just a little bit, just a little bit. It's a pretty good phone call. His name's Grant. He runs the homeless portion of a sober living called Trailhead, and it's for people that are homeless coming out of jail, people that are trying to work their way back into society. I think it's a great program. They're doing it right, so you'll probably see me promoting them a lot. It'll be fun to get kind of back into promoting. I cannot promote myself. See, this is it. It's AA, and I can't promote it. But I can certainly promote recovery. I was taking a look at what I was doing was taking a look at starting my own, but we need it now, right? And they have it going on. So why not support people? Why not? Gosh darn it. It's going to get louder. I'll get used to it. Sorry about that. All of a sudden it's like blasted. I apologize. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. So cool stuff going on. The number one thing that I really do more than anything, I get people excited about recovery. I love it. I love getting people excited about recovery and helping other people and like when I was talking to Grant, the first thing that I told him was, hey man, I want you to understand, I'm not going after anybody's job. I'm not doing anything like that. If I'm doing anything, I'm creating my own job. But my intention here, like my intention with them, just like my intention here, I want to make your life easier. That's it. And I'm really good at that. I'm really good at that. An example is like, a lot of these people, they need to get to work. Well, in order to work, you need your ID. Yep. You need your ID. Well, I know a person that at the DMV, right? And they will come to the location and take care of that. You don't need to take them to the DMV. No, they have a travel thing. But if you don't search for it, you ain't gonna find it, right? So I help them fill in the blanks, help them do a little bit of promoting because Colorado we don't have any money for recovery services this year. They spent 2 years in 1 year and did nothing with it. And so I've been trying to explain to a lot of people because it's kind of scary. They're running businesses. They want them to succeed. A lot of times without that government money, they're not going to make it. the grants and stuff, right? And so what I'm doing is I'm explaining to them this is actually situating you in a great place. And if we strike now, what'll happen is then those clients and the money that is coming in will go to you in the appropriate place. Okay. Now, why am I doing that? Why am I doing that? Because there's a lot of people that ask me for help, and I don't have any I don't have any great resources because I believe that you are responsible for your resources. Absolutely, I do. If I refer somebody to a sober living and they are abused, I take it personally. You bet your ass I do. And I will get involved and I will be there. I will find out what's actually going on. Now I know there's two sides to both stories, right? Sure is. So that's why I picked Tradition 8. The Tradition 8, and it doesn't really totally go into it here, well, a little bit. But something that I really enjoy doing is creating service work. Like Grassroots, I created service work. That's my service work, creating service work. I'm pretty good at it. And what I do is I find the right people. Well, I don't find the right people. What I do is I talk to people. I find out what their passion is, and then I create that so they can do it. Really good at that. I don't know why. I think it's the Virgo in me. All right. Welcome, Daily Trudge. My name's Dion. I'm apparently not shutting up today. This is my third one today. I just didn't want to end my day too early. And I was kind of stoked after that phone call. Because when I get people psyched up for it, I get psyched up. And, but there's a lot of, it used to be that there were a lot of moving parts. And now I'm bringing all those parts into one place. Okay. And part of my plan is I'll give you an idea. This is just an example. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start reaching out to the treatment centers soon. Okay. That do Medicaid, because really we need the Medicaid. That's what these people work through the Medicaid and they're doing it right. Okay. The Medicaid's a great program if utilized correctly. Also, if you're here, please say hello, whether watching the live or the rewatch. So, what I have them do, right, is I'm going to have them send me an email at least once a week to let me know what Medicaid beds are open. Yeah. That way you only have to make one phone call. Hey, Dion, are there any Medicaid beds open? Yeah, sure is. Give these people a call over here. Do it quick, though. Better get there. They fill up fast, right? There's hardly ever Medicaid beds open at the moment. They get filled up fast because there's not that many of them. And try to get that changed, man. You don't really, Medicaid will work out fine for you if you're not trying to be the alpha omega. That means like a treatment center, right? A treatment center. You're not chewing on that. That's not something I'm going to sit there and listen to you fucking gnaw at. Okay. Let me go throw this away. Or they chew on it. But when they try and have, because the number one complaint I've gotten about treatment centers lately is, Dion, I called, they set up a bed for me. I went there, but they did not accept me because I wasn't drunk. Yeah. If you know me, that ain't going to fly with me, is it? It's not going to fly with Dion. So it's time to get these people on board with the, give me a little bit more light there. There we go. That works out well. All right. So let's get started. We're going to be in the 12 by 12 if you'd like to follow along on page 166. So we're also having some great discussions on Grassroots about how to intertwine or how to make a hybrid meeting the best use. I think it's pretty neat so far. You know what it's going to require? More service work. Isn't that cool? Right? More service work. All right. Tradition 8. Alcoholics Anonymous should remain forever non-professional, but our service centers may employ special workers. Okay. Now, when I make that phone call, I'm not an AA member, right? When I'm talking to these treatment centers and stuff, I'm not an AA member. I'm a member of AA, but I'm not calling about AA. I'm calling about something else, but it does go for recovery, right? So there's a part where I do professional stuff that sometimes I charge for and stuff. It really isn't there yet. And then there's the AA portion that I do, right? But they're two separate arenas. And I even have to talk a little different when I'm talking to them. I got to kind of go to their level, right? And talk their level. But the AA itself, there are literally people out there that they do a paid sponsorship. No go. Right. If I was to ask you ever say, and if you really like what I have to say, please donate. Now I would be stepping out of the realm here, wouldn't I? I mean, fuck, I got the 12 steps and traditions sitting right behind me. I'm reading from AA literature. Hi, Amber. It's always good to see you. Yep. So she's at the school. That means I'm going to lose her for a minute when she leaves. Right. Or actually gets into the school because they cut my YouTube video because it's unsafe for children. My videos aren't really unsafe for children as much as it is that sometimes I talk about some topics that I feel are a lot that are adult. I really do. And I have my videos marked as unsafe because I don't want somebody to come back and be like, well, you tried it. Nah, I don't want any of that crap. And notice I don't get much beef. Facebook even leaves me alone now. It's the mushroom guys, and I doubt that the guy that did it early is going to make that mistake again. Because he got a little blasted. All right. Alcoholics Anonymous will never have a professional class. We have gained some understanding from the ancient words, freely ye have received, freely give. Now, when I had clients, I don't determine that I have clients now because I don't. But when I did, okay, I had to be sponsoring too. It was part of the agreement with me. Yep. And I took care of sponsees first. My AA work came first before, because that when I'm being paid, giving it away just doesn't quite feel the same. It feels like I can't bring up God or a spiritual program. It feels like I need to stay away from that. Yeah. So we have discovered that at the point of professionalism, money and spirituality do not mix. Almost no recovery from alcoholism has been brought about by the world's best professionals, whether medical or religious. It's true. Yeah. I was arguing with a professional yesterday, and they're like, I've been sober 22 years. I'm like, yeah, but you're still promoting to a particular class. High level entrepreneurs was their kind of title thing. I'm like, you're literally going after. Oh, we realize that I'm like, and they didn't write back to me again. Okay. There it is. See, they're mixing it. Coming up with we have 8 easy steps. It's always easy. It's always free. It's always this, right? Do we run around saying, oh, Alcoholics Anonymous, do we promote or do we attract by saying it's free? No, we don't. Why? Because in a sense, it isn't free. It's not. You put $1 in the basket. That's not free. It's not free. You're not required to. Right? I don't have a lot of money, so I don't really put money in the basket. But what I do give is my time. This right here. I don't ask for money. It is free, right? But but if I came on here as a professional and expected some sort of payment for it, now we have an expectation. And that's really going to mess things up for Dion. For me, it's a really thin line. Some people do better at it. I'm not as, it's a little bit harder for me on that for some reason. And the people that I'm working with, like the guy I just talked to, his name's Grant. He's a cool fucking dude, man. He is. He's a peer sports specialist. Okay. But in order to work for them, you got to have at least 2 years of sobriety, which is I love. Okay. And 500 hours through COPA. Great start, man. That's exactly it. Cool stuff. All right. Almost no recovery of alcoholism, though. We do not decree professionalism in other fields, but we accept the sober fact that it does not work for us. Every time we have tried to professionalize our 12 steps, the result has been exactly the same. Our single purpose has been defeated. And the singleness of purpose is this: to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. We do it on an individual basis and we do it on a group basis. Now, we're having a big discussion in Grassroots right now on the best way to make a hybrid meeting. And I've gone to some and I'm learning from the mistakes of others. I'm not saying they're wrong, but it ain't right, if that makes sense. But it always gets defeated, right? Why would it be different now? It's not. Just because this was written back in the 40s, actually, I think this was written in the 50s, right? Which was what? Well, it was a long time ago, 75 years ago. Well, times have changed. Times changing doesn't apply to this. It's still the same, and it's been true always. Look at Osteen, man. Guy's one of the most popular preachers. A lot of money. Where's the humility? I don't know. Anyway, I think I'm off topic there. Alcoholics simply will not listen to a paid 12-stepper. They won't. And when I worked at Detox, it was a little bit tougher to get those guys to listen to me than when I used to hold AA meetings there. Yep. It was. Almost from the beginning, we have been positive that face-to-face work with an alcoholic who suffers could be based on only on the desire to help and be helped. When an AA talks for money, whether at a meeting or to a single newcomer, it can have a very bad effect on him too. The money motive compromises him in everything he says and does for his prospect. This has always been so obvious that only a very few AAs have ever worked a 12 step for a fee. Now it's all over the place. Right? Thanks, social media and letting people do whatever the fuck they want. Anyway. I've been going to a meeting and they keep putting in chat. They're like, inflation or, economy's down, rent is rising. We need you to donate. No. Mm-mm. Your club problem is not my group problem. That is promoting for money. Even though it's just a quick little line, it's still promoting for money. Attraction, not promotion. I built the Grassroots. I went out and searched people that needed help like I did. That's how you're supposed to do it. And I've recommended to them that maybe they get into more 12 stepping. And I just get a cockeyed like, well, you want more, you need more money, $1 at a time. You got to have more people. Right. In the meeting at one point, this was last week, they were talking about one of the guys that he ended up paying the rent for the club. Okay. And he was newer within 90 days. 2 days later, and people are like, oh, that was good of you. And first of all, that should have been anonymous. Okay. Shouldn't have been doing that to that guy. Should have kept him, keep his anonymity. 2 days later, he comes back and admits that he hasn't been sober a day. He was lying. Okay. See how that it's fucked it up. Why'd he give that money? Guilt. Guilt was the reason, which makes it no good. All right. Despite this certainty, it is nevertheless true that few subjects have been the cause of more contention within our fellowship than professionalism. Caretakers who swept floors, cooks who fried hamburgers, secretaries in office, authors writing books, all of these have seen hotly assailed because they were, as critics angrily remarked, making money out of AA. Now, if you can separate the club from the meeting, you won't have this problem. You won't have that problem, will you? Because it's the club that's providing that, right? Usually what happens is a meeting gives a percentage of what they make each meeting to the club. That's usually how that works. It isn't usually, oh, this room, costs you $100 an hour or something like that. No, usually it's a percentage. That's why a lot of meetings are held at churches or places that are 501c3 or non-for-profit, because for them, that's a write-off. And so it's a win-win situation. But usually, that's why Wednesday, I'm going to the Community Reach Center. It's the Community Reach. Yeah. And what will happen is they will get a certain percentage from the in-person meetings, right? Maybe the hybrid. The group will have to, the group will have to discuss that first before there's any, because I can't go make an agreement. It has to be okay with the group, right? Did the man get real about getting sober? Yeah, he admitted it that day, and then he called me. I think he's been sober since. I told him that he needs to be texting me each night that he's still sober. The problem was he was doing it in the evening. So what I did is I suggested that he go to evening meetings. And since that point, it seems that he is staying sober. Yeah. And that's good news. Thanks for that question, Michelle. Yeah. That way it ends with at least, on a good note. He's still around. He's doing what he needs to do. Okay. And that's awesome. Which means he should be at about a week now. Ignoring the facts that these laborers were not 12-step jobs at all. Nope. The critics attacked as the AA professionals, these workers of ours who were often doing thankless jobs that no one else could or would do. Who's going to clean the toilets? Who's going to clean the toilets? Just picked the most disgusting job. Who's going to clean the puke off the floor? Who's going to take out the trash? Who's going to empty the ashtrays? Well, emptying the ashtray is kind of 12-step work. See, usually the building is taken care of by people, right? And they should be paid. Okay? Abby down at central office, she gets paid. Okay? Because she is doing a service. Why she's making $70,000 a year, working 4 days a week, open 6 hours a day is beyond me. We'll get there. Let's see. Even graver fervors were provoked when AA members began to run rest homes and farms for alcoholics, when some hired out to corporations as personal men in charge of the alcoholic problem in the industry, when some became nurses on alcoholic wards, when others entered the field of alcohol education. In all these instances and more, it was claimed that AA knowledge and experience were being sold for money. Hence, these two people were professionals. Yeah, that's a hard line. It is, right, for some of us. Now, even the people that I've been talking about with the peer support, some of them are in AA. All of them are in recovery. They all have experience. But I also said they need 500 hours of education. And see, that's where it kind of starts to separate it. Because no, we cannot, as a professional, I can't go around preaching how great God is to me. If I go run a DUI class, but I certainly can expose some of my experience so that they trust me a little bit more. But it must be transparent. What is happening must be transparent. Or people will ask questions, valid questions that you ain't gonna want to answer. At last, however, a plain line of cleavage could be seen between professionalism and non-professionalism. When we agreed that the 12th step couldn't be sold for money, we have been wise. But when we declared that our fellowship couldn't hire service workers, nor could any AA member carry our knowledge into other fields, we were taking counsel of fear. Fear which today has been largely dispelled in the light of experience. I've met a lot of people who've gotten sober and live a happy life without AA. They still do the work. It's CBT, it's cognitive behavioral therapy. Yes, there's therapy actually based on the 12 steps. It's kind of cool, huh? Right? Doesn't really involve God, but it's the placement of thinking, rearranging of the brain. You know, there's three big things that people say that, number one, AA is religious. We're not religious. Number two, that we're a cult, right? Third is we brainwash you. Okay. Third one's true. Third one's absolutely, it's true. I needed a new way of thinking. Okay? Not in the sense that brainwashing you, and manipulation, the other things. But brainwashing doesn't need to be a bad word either. Right? Take the case of the club janitor and cook. I don't know of any club that has a kitchen. So, and there really is a lot of AA clubs, what they actually do. Hi, Julia. It's good to see you. Now let's take York Street. York Street actually has people that they have hired that are AA members that do the thankless job so we can go to meetings without it being stinky. Isn't that nice of them? It is. And they should be paid for it. It's not an AA meeting. What they're doing is they're making it so AA is possible for us. And that's pretty darn important, I think. All right. You just expect nobody to not make anything, or, they still got to eat. They still got to do these things, right? Yeah, absolutely they do. It has to be habitable and hospitable. We tried volunteers who were quickly disenchanted with sweeping floors and brewing coffee 7 days a week. They just didn't show up. Yeah. So you're not getting paid. Oh, I don't really need to go. It's just kind of, community service. A lot of clubs use community service workers, where if you got a DUI or some kind of drug charge and you were given community service, you can go to the club and do it, which I think is pretty cool. It's another way we can do that. Those people are motivated to go there. Then they end up going to AA meetings, getting a better life, and see how that worked. Yeah. But doing their community service hours. Absolutely. Even more important, an empty club couldn't answer his telephone. Yeah, he was going to answer the phone. But it was an open invitation to a drunk on a bench who possessed a spare key. So somebody had to look after the place full time. Yeah, when I started the AA meetings over at Henderson Community Church, they told me about the guy that was before me, and he started living there. He started living at the church because he didn't have anywhere else to live. So they were kind of hesitant on giving me the key till they got to know me a little bit. If we hired an alcoholic, he'd receive only what we'd have to pay a non-alcoholic for the same job. The job was not to do 12th step work. It was to make 12th step work possible. It was a service proposition, pure and simple. When I approached East Metro Detox about 4 years ago, detoxes get paid one of two ways. They either get paid by hiring people with education or by a success rate. Not going to go too much into that, right? But the thing is I went in and people would not listen to the whole thing, but I would let them know, hey, you have your bachelor's degree. You shouldn't be here. And the reason that you shouldn't be here is this place should be full of people like myself who are much better at helping an alcoholic get willing to go to treatment. Then we send them to treatment where you are at. Again, trying to make their job easier. Because that person with the bachelor's degree would be much better suited at treatment when they work with a set of people that want to get sober, that want a better life. Making it possible again. See, we alcoholics get to do this stuff now. Okay. Would that be 12-step work? No, it would not. It can't be. It can't be. Neither could AA itself function without full-time workers. At the foundation and intergroup offices, we couldn't employ non-alcoholics as secretaries. We had to have people who knew the AA pitch. But the minute we hired the ultra-conservative and fearful one shrilled, professionalism. At one period, the status of these faithful servants was almost unbearable. They weren't asked to speak at AA meetings because they were making money out of AA. They weren't asked to speak at AA meetings because they were making money out of AA. Well, you weren't allowed to speak because, okay, let me ask you this. Fine, you do it for free. Oh, well, I don't want to do that. Then shut your fucking mouth. Then fuck off. All right? All right? We should be thanking that person. Be thanking that person. You want to clean the coffee pots? No. Okay, well, we're going to hire this guy. Professionalism. Well, then you clean them. No. See, now we're just stuck. We're just stuck. At one period, the status of these faithful servants, so they weren't even allowed to speak at AA meetings because they thought people were making money off AA. Even the charitably disposed describes them as a necessary evil. Committee took a full advantage of this attitude to press their salaries. They could regain some measure of virtue, it was thought, if they worked for AA real cheap. That ain't right. Oh, you're an alcoholic, so you should make less. Yeah, that goes against how AA is, huh? Because everybody at AA meetings should be equal. Yes, they should be. These notions persisted for years. Then we saw that if a hardworking secretary answered the phone dozens of times a day, listened to 20 wailing wives, arranged hospitalization, and got sponsorship for 10 newcomers, listen to all this being done. It's time for us to go back down to our own central office and say, why is this not happening? Why? Because according to this, I can call the central office and find a sponsor. What that just said. All right. Anyway, I'm on a roll. So take what you can, ignore the rest, because I'm a little wound up. All right. Was gently diplomatic with the irate drunk who complained about the job she was doing and how she was overpaid, then such a person should surely not be called a professional AA. She was not professionalizing the 12th step. She was making it possible. She was helping to give the man coming in the door the break he ought to have. Volunteer committeemen and assistants could be of great help, but they could not be expected to carry the load day in and day out. Okay. There's another reason for all of this. It's called the 80-20 rule. 20% of the people in AA do 80% of the work, just like at your job. How many meetings you go to, There's 20 people in the meeting. Meeting's just getting ready to start. Okay, who's first? And it is silent. It is silent. Nobody wants to go first because then everybody bases what they talk about. I don't mind going first. But I don't get to double dip. So I want to be able to get my thoughts together so I can say da da da. What happened to God? Where's God, man? Anyway, off topic, right? So here we are again, and this is why I picked Tradition 8 because I'm doing it now. I love making service work for others. I love to create service work, and that's my service work. And I do it a lot. I do it by the needs. And then I go ask people. If you're in the grassroots WhatsApp, you can see there's conversation. I'm always asking questions. What do we want to do? We're going to do this. We're going to do that. What are some ideas? And we're having a lot of great conversation going on in there. All right. At the foundation, the same story repeats itself. 8 tons of books and literature per month do not package and channel themselves all over the world. 8 tons? That's a lot. 8 tons is a lot. I don't know how much though, because I don't know how many pounds are in a ton. You folks may know better than I do, but that was not my forte. It was not my forte. Right? Sacks of letters on every conceivable AA problem, ranging from a lonely heart Eskimo to the growing pains of thousands of groups, must be answered by people who know with experience. Right contacts with the world outside have to be maintained. AA lifelines have to be tended. So we hire AA staff members, we pay them well, and they earn what they get. They are the professional secretaries, but they certainly are not professional AAs. They're not getting paid to go to an AA meeting. You want me to look at it? You Google it. I'm like right in the middle of something. I know you're driving. That's why I'm giving you shit. How many pounds is 8 tons?
8 tons is equivalent to 17,636.981 pounds.
So 17,000 pounds. Do you think they should be paid? I do. Perhaps the fear will always lurk in every AA heart that one day our name will be exploited by somebody for real cash. It's going on right now. I'm glad you're getting a kick out of that, Julie. Yeah. And any more Amber and I are just like bickering brother and sister. We give each other a lot of crap. I appreciate it. It's kind of fun to have somebody in my life that doesn't get offended so easily by what I say. Even the suggestion of such a thing never fails to whip a hurricane. And we have discovered that hurricanes have a way of mauling with equal severity, both the just and unjust. They are always unreasonable. I don't know why I told you 2,000. Honestly, I don't know what you asked it. So I just asked how many pounds is 8 tons? 8 metric tons equals 17,636 pounds. How much is 8 tons in weight? 16,000 pounds. So, all right. No individuals have been more buffeted by such emotional gusts than those AAs bold enough to accept employment with an outside agency dealing with the alcohol problem. Okay. Well, Yeah, what are they doing with 8 tons? Well, a lot of alcoholics, right? Between books and literature. And who knows, he may have made that number up too. Or maybe they just got right before he wrote this, maybe they just got maybe oh, he asked for 1 ton. Well, then that would equal it. Yeah, 2008, 16,000. So yeah. Maybe they just got a shipment the day before he wrote this or something. So he knew. Right? All right. Yeah. I'm just having a little fun. If you, it's funny because, we've been going 40 minutes. I wonder if people come here expecting I'm going to talk on that the whole time because it's only like half the time. Right. I love the little interruptions. 5 elephants. Wait a minute. How many elephants would it take to equal 8 tons? 2 to 3 African elephants. See, that's the kind of fun we have here. All right. Yeah, there's a lot of people that go on to help people. Some of them. There's a couple of them in grassroots and things like that. I was a drug and alcohol counselor, okay, but I didn't bring AA into it. Like when I was working with somebody, I didn't say, "Do you think you need to go to AA?" No, I would help them decide what course they want to take. Yeah. So I'm not an AA member when I'm doing that. Yeah. Yeah. A university wanted an AA member to educate the public on alcoholism. A corporation wanted a personal man familiar with the subject. A state drunk farm wanted a manager who could really handle inebriates. A city wanted an experienced social worker who understood what alcohol could do to the family. A state alcoholic commission wanted to pay a paid researcher. These are only a few of the jobs which AA members as individuals have been asked to fill. Now and then, AA members have brought farms to rest homes where badly beaten up toppers could find needed care. The question was, and some still is, are such activities to be branded as professional under AA tradition? No. There is no AA treatment center. There is no AA detox. There is no professional AA. It can't be done. Okay? Shouldn't be done. We think the answer is no. Members who select such full-time careers do not professionalize AA's 12th step. I don't think that they do either. Done the correct way. There's a right way to do it, and then there's the rest of the ways. Okay? Because let's remember, alcoholics are always looking for what? The easier, softer way. We have to intentionally make ourselves take the harder way. We're those types of people. Doesn't mean we need to learn the hard way anymore. But we will not, I do not search the easier, softer way anymore. And anybody that tries to make it easier or softer, they're doomed to fail because we tried all of those paths. We tried them and they did not work. But they do not want to listen because they want what they want. There's no humility in it. There's no honesty in it. Okay? Not. All right. The road to this conclusion was long and rocky. Thank God they put this in here, huh? Thank God they went through it and put it down on paper so we wouldn't have to go fucking figure it out ourselves time after time after time after time. At first, we couldn't see the real issue involved. In former days, the moment AA hired out to such enterprises, he was immediately tempted to use the name Alcoholics Anonymous for publicity or money-raising purposes. Okay? Even when somebody cuts down AA, to prove their point, they're still using AA as professionalism. And no. Okay. Just like I was talking with Grant. Okay. And one of the things that I was telling him was the competition needs to end. We are not businesses. We are here. We are here at the service of for other people, and there can't be competition, or we're all done. And of course, he agrees with that. Absolutely, they do. I'm like, because he's like, yeah, we're not the only one. Well, if there's a place that's better for that client, then I've sent plenty of sponsors or sponsees to other people that would work better with them. I've sent plenty of clients to other people that would work better with them. Absolutely, I have. Because otherwise, I'm not a counselor or a sponsor. I'm an asshole. Alcoholics Anonymous for publicity or money-raising purposes, blah, 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 blah. Let's just read it. I think I said it, but anyway, let's just reread it. Alcoholics Anonymous for publicity or money-raising purposes, drunk farms, educational ventures, state legislatures, and commissions advertise the fact that AA members served them. Unthinkingly, AA so employed recklessly broke anonymity to thump the tub for their pet enterprise. For this reason, some very good causes and all connected with them suffered unjust criticism from AA groups. More often than not, these onslaughts were spearheaded by the cry, professionalism. That guy is making money out of AA. Yet not a single one of them had been hired to do AA's 12-step work. The violation in these instances was not professionalism at all. It was breaking anonymity. AA's sole purpose was being compromised, and the name of Alcoholics Anonymous was being misused. Yeah. Oh, it's a great day for the park, Amber. Absolutely. 74 degrees today. It's beautiful. I have found every reason that I could to be outside so far today. I'm going back out again because I got to fix a door handle. Right. It is significant now that almost no AA in our fellowship breaks anonymity at the public level, that nearly all these fears have subsided. We see that we have no right or need to discourage AAs who wish to work as individuals in these wider fields. It would be actually antisocial were we to forbid them. Good for you, Julia. Yeah, get some vitamin D. Heck yeah. We cannot declare AA such a closed corporation that we keep our knowledge and expertise and our experience top secret. All right. If an AA member acting as a citizen can become a better researcher, educator, personnel officer, then why not? Everybody gains, and we have lost nothing. True, some of the projects to which AAs have attached themselves have been ill-conceived, but that makes not the slightest difference with the principle involved. This is the exciting welter of events which has finally cast AA tradition on non-professionalism. Our 12th step is never to be paid for, but those who labor in service for us are worthy of their time. All right, all right, all right. That's going to be it for this one. 50 minutes. Act like it's all short and shit. That's why I like doing these. It's the only time I can actually sit still for a certain period of time because I'm distracted. So, all right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate it. I hope you have a great day. I love you. You know I do. Peace out.